boy Kazan has quite a voice. I mean, she's an amazing writer, and she writes great characters. But I mean, my two boys came to see it. My sons are 21 and 26, and you know, I think of this family as very different from anything that I'm living in my own life, but everybody kind of relates to it on one level. And when my boys were so affected by it, and so, you know, Mom, you know, we got through that, and I was like, we got through that? I didn't realize we were living that, you know. But you know, everybody in their own way has their family angst, and this play speaks to people, especially a generation, Zoe's generation. She's 28 years old, extremely talented 28-year-old, and this group's generation, you know, it's a new voice, you know, and a different style of theater, a resolution that leaves you kind of saying life goes on. There is no resolution to the family angst. And
do you want to hear something really fucked up?
Okay.
Last time I was here, you were 6.
So that was a long time ago.
Yeah, I know, but being back, I keep getting these flashes of like little Dinah running around with her Barbie dolls.
Hey, look at me. Same person as yesterday.
No, truth.
Okay, truth.
How soon did you know it was her?
Dinah, not immediately.
But quickly.
Truth or dare?
I'm not done with my question
So wait
yet.
your turn. Truth or dare?
Okay, truth.
No, dare.
Truth. Or I'm not playing.
Okay. Are you a little bit glad that Dinah brought me?
No. Truth or dare? Truth. Did you come here to see me?
No.
Liar.
The way that Sam worked on it, and the way that what Amy was just talking about, you know, we rarely, you know, at the end of the play, people get to release, but during much of rehearsal and during much of the play, people are so unreleased that we would often not realize, I think, in rehearsal why we felt so sort of unpleasant, you know, and I know I feel unpleasant all the time. Yes. No, I mean, it's sort of this, it's more of like a vague kind of malaise that, you know, sort of, you know, you get the end of the rehearsal and you'd sort of, you know, drift off that way, rather than, you know, when you're working on, you know, I don't know, Death of a Salesman or something, when, you know, every day you come out, you know, just want to kill yourself.
That's also, Sam would always tell us stories about his family and the latest wedding he attended, and this is all surrounding a wedding. So hearing about his family and his wife Amy's family kept us laughing all the time, and he's one of the funnier people around. So actually it was kind of a funny rehearsal process, considering what we were dealing with. Luckily.
Yeah, I think that we saw pretty early on, it didn't really serve us to like wade too deeply into like the heavy stuff, and so
really, Jessica and I were talking about our instincts on our first read-through, how we went to this place where had we played it and lived that way, we would never have made it, and these people would never have made it. That's what we learned.
Yeah.
For a young writer, I found her very self-assured about the story she wanted to tell. You know, that you could, you know, that she was interested in your feedback, and she was interested in understanding what seemed to be troublesome, but she was also very centered, right, as a writer, you know, in terms of the story she was telling and the world she was creating. And so, you know, it wasn't like she was
pushed around.
Not like we pushed her around.
Not at all.
God knows we tried.
But that day, the Hamartia day, I mean, I thought that was the most thrilling part of the whole rehearsal period. Yeah. It was you can talk about it.
Thank you. Tell us.
No, but that day when you have a
there's just a speech in the play, and we were interested in trying to make it less like an actor having a speech, and more like it would be if a bunch of people were together and one person who was, you know, explaining something. And so, you know, she just encouraged us, she and Sam encouraged us to improvise and all sort of jump in and ask the questions we would ask if we were that person. And then the next day there was
a
lot, you know, she had used a lot of what we had done and created a really lovely little hopefully, lovely
Yes,
little
it
thing.
is.
It's lovely, Mark.
It's very
Yeah.
lovely.
No, I
I
don't
hate
mean
that word
me.
lovely.
I mean
Favorite.
the writing.
Yeah, yeah, but that's, you know, when you feel a part of it, that's pretty thrilling. And it's kind of like if you're saying something you know you're not comfortable, you don't even have to say it with her. The next day, that line would be changed because she would say, well, if that person's not going to make this work, then it's not going to work, and she's going to change it for you. And that's pretty fun to suddenly see things emerge from the work.
Yeah, she was sort of 2 steps ahead of us sometimes with our instincts. Like, I feel like you might want to say this here, and I sense that you're sort of uncomfortable here, and would sort of tweak it to fit how we were playing the character.
Kidding me? All those hours of practice and Mr. Bateman helping me with my Latin, and God knows how much you fed me.
You ate all the muffins.
And you got so mad.
They were very good muffins.
Yes, they were. This was a home for me when I really needed one, and I wanted to thank you for that, if nothing else.
You know what I think?
What?
I think if I'd known you'd turn out so cute, I might have taken you for myself.
Mom!
It was a joke! I'm joking. Daniel, put down that bag.
Really?
I know we should ground you. He's way too old for you.
Sorry.
I can't believe you two found each other. It's just fate. That's what it is.
Should I get Allie?
Sandy, this is Daniel. Daniel likes my daughters.
I think that I don't find the show to be trying to kind of
Say something.
have any
very
kind of
clear.
moral to the story.
It's a
It seems like in
reflection.
fact that's what your character talks about, which is it's just human nature as opposed to some actual flaw that needs to be avoided.
You know, one of the things I think the play says is that it's unavoidable that we will all be flawed, and that we will make mistakes, and we will do things that are either casually or intentionally cruel to other people, because we are human and we're flawed and we do things. And that's not something we can avoid. All we can do is learn how to live with it and how to process it and how to go on with our lives in a way that is, you know, the least painful path that we can get to you know.
If there had to be a lesson, maybe there is one. Like, maybe it's like, how do you turn something that's so dark into something that's light? And I think you do that by dealing with it. And like, I think the arc of the play is that events culminate to a breakthrough, which is people dealing with something they've refused to deal with. And that, you know, puts them onto a new plateau, and it's completely changes the dynamic they built.
I think part of the play, I think part of watching people not deal with things and then finally dealing with them, whether or not it ends up being good, I think it's satisfying to see people finally deal with something.
Very self-destructive. I walked around with my bleeding heart all the time. My dad left me, my mom left me, love me. At some point in my 20s, I was with this girl telling her something sad from my past, hoping she would sleep with me. And she interrupted me. She said, "You think your sadness is the most interesting part of you, but in reality, it's the least." She didn't sleep with me, but it's a pretty life-altering one-night stand.
But that's what's great about Zoe's writing, is
It
that
is.
it's the lights go down, there's sort of an unsettled feeling in the house. That people are asking questions, often out loud during our curtain call. But we were saying yesterday, I think the last line of importance of being earnest is, well, I guess that's the importance of being earnest. And it's like curtain, it's fireworks. And it's like, that's the, you know, wrapped present of that play. And that's not how
This is
Zoe writes.
2011, and
Yeah.
there's different style and
Yeah.
different times.
You know, people do, it's great to ask questions. Like the other day when during our curtain call and somebody was walking out and they asked the question, does 55th Street go east or west? You know, that's a good question too.
He told me that I didn't have to give up any bit of myself, that he loved me just the way I was, and even though he didn't have my, what was the word you used?
I think it was vivacity.
Even though he didn't have my vivacity, he would do everything he could to give me a good time. And we did have some fun after all, really.
I like to think so.
Rose, can I have more wine?